Good morning. So, in economics today, we are going to discuss very important questions which are required for your getting good marks in your first year. So, here, chapter wise, we are going to discuss what are the SAQs, what are the LAQs, and all. So, today we are going to start with our first chapter. So, in first chapter, we have Introduction to Economics. In first chapter, we have Introduction to Economics. In this, we are going to have 5 marks weightage questions, 2 questions you will be getting, as well as we are going to have the BSAQs from this chapter. So, first, I'm going to discuss with the concepts. From that concepts only, you can get the BSAQs here. So, first, let us discuss the various concepts. Let us discuss the various concepts of economics over here. So, the first concept we are going to discuss here is goods. Generally, when we say goods, what are goods? Goods are the things which will satisfy human wants. So, in economics, we are going to study about how human wants are satisfied with limited resources. So, first we are going to discuss what are goods. Goods means what? They are the things which satisfy human wants. Which satisfy. Okay. Which are satisfying human wants. So, the goods are the things which are satisfying human wants. So, what we are going to do over here? We are going to discuss what are the different types of goods we are having. So, the goods are divided into free goods and economic goods. So, here goods are divided into free goods and economic goods. So, first let us discuss what are these free goods. So, what are the free goods? Free goods are what? Which are given by nature. So, free goods are the goods which are given by the nature, where there is no cost of production, where there is no cost of production. Also, the demand and supply will be more. Here we can say supply is abundant. Supply is abundant. So, any example for free goods we can take here, like for 2 marks, you will get this question, free goods. Free goods are given by the nature. It is a gift of God, and there is no cost of production to produce that free goods, and supply is abundant. Abundant means we can say supply is unlimited. For free goods, supply will be unlimited. So, we can say that example, air, water, sunlight, these all comes under the category of free goods. So, these way we have the free goods section. Now, coming to these economic goods. Economic goods are what? They are man-made goods. Economic goods are man-made goods. Man-made goods means what? When free goods are not satisfying human wants, we use free goods and make the goods which will satisfy our wants. So, that's what we call it as man-made goods. Like we can say this pen, right? Then we are having cars, books. So, all these comes under our economic goods. So, when we are differentiating between free goods and economic goods, here we say it is given by nature. Our economic goods are man-made goods. And there is no cost of production for free goods. Here, there will be cost of production for economic goods. For economic goods, cost of production will be there. That is the reason price is paid for the economic goods. Means we pay some price and we take the goods. Price is paid for the goods, and here we can say supply is always less than demand. Here we can say that for economic goods, supply is always less than the demand. That is the reason price exists for the products. So we can say economic goods are man-made goods. They have cost of production. Price is there for the product. Supply is less than demand. And the value is included in national income. These economic goods values are included in national income. So this is about our free goods and economic goods. Just see, free goods you may get in your exam for 2 marks here, right? Only free goods you may get it for 2 marks. For 2 marks, anytime you have to write the 3 meaningful points. That is, given by nature, no cost of production, supply is more than the demand. Example you can give. It completes your 2 marks answer. For economic goods, we have man-made goods. They have cost of production. Price will be paid for economic goods. Supply is less than the demand. And the value of economic goods are included in the national income. So, now this completes your 1-2 marks question. Economic goods completes your 1-2 marks question. Or else, they may give the question as difference between free goods and economic goods, which will be your 5 marks weightage question. So, this is how you have to write the difference between free goods and economic goods. And in this, you remember, examples are very, very important over here. You can give your examples here. So, this completes the concept of free goods and economic goods. Now, let us move to the other concept here. Second concept, now in goods, when we discussed with these economic goods are further classified into capital goods. They are classified into capital goods, consumer goods, and intermediary goods. So, these economic goods are further classified into capital goods, consumer goods, and intermediary goods. So, first let us see what are capital goods. As the name itself says, capital means for production, investment purpose, we use these goods. So, these capital goods are also called as producer goods. These capital goods are also called as producer goods. Remember, these are the important questions for 2 marks. In first chapter, repeatedly they are asking these questions relating to the goods. Okay, so if you understand what are those goods, you can write it easily. So, capital goods are also called as producer goods. Producer goods are what? Which are used in production of other goods. So, capital goods are what? They are used in production of other goods. For example, we can take example like machinery, raw material. So, these all comes under our producer goods. So, here what we can say, these capital goods are also, like we can write, now if it is coming for 2 marks, you have to write 3 points over here. First, you will write which are used in the production of other goods and they do not satisfy human wants directly. They do not satisfy human wants directly. So, these way you can write the 3 points about your producer goods, and they are also divided into single use capital goods, single-use capital goods and durable-use capital goods. They are again divided into single-use capital goods and durable-use capital goods. Single-use means what? Like raw material. Raw material we are using only for one time. Once we use, it is over. We cannot use them again. Durable use means like we can use them again and again. For example, we are having machinery, technology, we can use it every day, we can use them, right? So such like that, we have single use and durable use. So this completes your 2 marks answer over here. That is about capital goods, right? Then next we are having, next we have consumer goods. Second, I'll just write this one. So next one we have consumer goods. What are consumer goods? As the name itself says, consumer goods are the goods which are used for final, consumption. So consumer goods are the goods which are used for final consumption. Final consumption means when we want to satisfy as a human being, we want to satisfy our wants. So we will use certain goods which will satisfy our wants. Those goods are called as consumer goods. So which are used for final consumption. And here one more point about consumer goods is that it will satisfy human wants directly. It will satisfy human wants directly, right? So you can, and you can give us an example over here, like we can say books, mobile phones, right? Or pens, anything. You can give as an example which we use in our daily life. So here we can say consumer goods are the goods which are used for final consumption. So they will satisfy human wants directly, and you have to write down the examples for this. So this completes your 2 marks, and these consumer goods are divided again into perishable goods and durable goods. Perishable and durable. Like 3 points for 2 marks, that is enough. So we are writing consumer goods which are used for final consumption. They satisfy human wants directly. They are examples we can give as books or mobile phone, pen, etc. And they are again divided into perishable and durable goods. So this way we have here consumer goods and capital goods. Now you got the difference between capital goods and consumer goods here. So 3 points for 2 marks, very, very important points. Now finally we have one more type of good. They are intermediary goods. What are intermediary goods? Intermediary goods are also called as semi-finished goods. Semi-finished goods means which are semi-finished goods which are still in the process of production. Which are still in process of production. This is called as intermediary or semi-finished goods. Means these are finished goods to the producer, but they are not finished to the consumers. Still in the process of production. For example, we can take example as bricks, cement, because they are finished products for producer. Means they will be produced in the industry. They are finished product for producer, but when we take it, it will not be useful to us. We cannot use them directly. What we have to do? We have to construct a building. In that, we use this bricks and cement. So these goods are called as intermediary goods. So these way, our economic goods are classified into capital goods, consumer goods, and intermediary goods. So this is one point you have to remember. First, we have discussed free goods and economic goods. It may come for 5 marks or for 2 marks also they may give what is free good and what is economic good. And now when we have discussed capital goods, consumer goods and intermediary goods. Any one of them may get for 2 marks. Simple, you remember the example, you can write about that point. Very easy one to remember. Now, coming to the next concept in economics we are going to study. First concept we have discussed about goods. Next concept we are going to discuss is utility. Generally, what is utility here? Utility, generally we say usefulness. Usefulness means like whether it is used by us or not. But in economic terms, we don't say usefulness as utility. In economics, we say that when the good has the power to satisfy, when the good is having the power to satisfy human wants, when the goods have the power to satisfy human wants, then we say that that good is having utility. So you see, in economics, utility is not equal to usefulness. In general terms, we say it is usefulness. But in economic terms, we say it is not equal to usefulness. But if the commodity has the power to satisfy our want, then we call it as a utility. Simple concept. Utility we have goods which has the power to satisfy human wants. Those goods will have the utility, right? So this utility, or we can say, or another word also, another sentence also you can write. For 2 marks you will get this one, right? Want satisfying power of a commodity. Want satisfying power of a commodity is called as utility. Means if a product is satisfying your want, then we say the product is having utility. Now, for example, you see, when you're writing in your books, you will have a blue pen with you. Blue pen is useful for you? Yes. So you have utility with that pen. If the same pen is given to the teacher to write on the blackboard, it doesn't have any usefulness over there. Means it is not satisfying the teacher want here. So that is not having utility to the teacher. So this way, we can say want satisfying power of a commodity, right? Now, in this, again, 5 marks question, we have types of utility. Types of utility we have. These types of utility is nothing but we are having first one, form utility. What is form utility? When the product changes its shape, size, then we have the utility from that commodity. For example, we have wood. Wood, when it is like a wooden block, we don't have any usefulness from that. But when the same wood is converted into a chair or a bench, then we have utility from that. Simple concept. When the product is changing its shape or size, then it will have utility. Then it will possess utility. So this way we have, for example, like we have taken the example of wood, right? Wood is changed into chair or a bench, we have utility. Second type of utility we have. Second type of utility is what? Time utility. So what is time utility? As the time changes in the sense, for example, if we are having the like summer season or something like that. In summer season, raincoats is of no use, right? As the season changes, as the time changes, it will get its utility. Raincoats will get utility only in the rainy season. So that is what we call as time utility. As the time changes, goods will have utility. As the time changes, goods will have utility, right? Like goods we use in summer season is not having utility to be used in the winter season or rainy season. Next one we have place utility. Place utility is what? When the good is moving from one place to another place, then it will have utility. One place to another place means what? From production place to consumption place. Goods moving from production place to consumption place. Consumption place means market. When the good is with the producer, it will not have any utility because you cannot use it. Now, these pens are manufactured. These pens are manufactured by one producer. It doesn't have utility. When it coming to the market, when we buy them, when we use them, then it will have utility. So it is changing the place from production place to the consumption place. That is place utility. Okay. Then next we are having service utility. Service utility is what here? Services of human beings such as doctors, teachers, lawyers. When they give their services, it will help you. It will have some utilization by you, right? Whatever the service utility is there for you, it may not have the same utility to others, right? So that is how we have service utility. Means services of human beings also gives the utility. So this utility or usefulness, it is completely a subjective concept. Right? Subjective concept, and it differs from person to person. It is not same to everyone. What product is having utility to you, it may not have the utility to other person. So that is how we have the utility. So this question is for 5 marks. Very important one. So you have to write down the introduction. That is what is utility. Goods has the power to satisfy human wants, or we can say want satisfying power of a commodity. And it is a subjective concept. 2 points you write down for introduction. Then what are the types of utility? Types of utility. First we are having form utility. When a product is changing its form, that means its size or shape, it will have utility. Example, you can write example also. Wood. Wood, when it is in the form of wood, it doesn't have any utility. But when it is converted into chair or a table, it will have utility, right? Next one, we have time utility. Time means what? As the time changes, like climatic conditions or morning, what we want, we may not require that in the afternoon. So like that, as the time changes, our utility also changes. Such type of utility is called as time utility. Next, we have place utility. Place utility, when the goods move from production point to the consumption point. Means, for example, we have vegetables. Vegetables, when they are with farmers, it is not satisfying your want. But vegetables, when they are available in the market, you can buy them and satisfy your want. So, such utility is called as place utility. Next, we have service utility, like services of human beings, right? Like doctors, teachers and all. They, by giving their services, you will have, your want will be satisfied. So this is the concept of utility. Just see here, what are the concepts we have discussed? First, you remember, this is for 5 marks question. Most of the time they are repeating, and very easy answer to remember here. Right? Utility and simple concept of utility. Then next we are having goods. So in these goods, you can see when we discussed the goods, free goods means all these are for 2 marks weightage, and completely difference between free good and economic good, you may get it for 5 marks. Like you remember from first chapter, compulsory 2 SAQs, that is 2 5 marks questions will be there and 2 VSAQs will be there, right? So these are the VSAQs. Now in the second screen, you can see the different types of goods. These all are for 2 marks weightage. For 2 marks, just write down 2-3 points. That is more than enough. You can get full marks for that, right? Capital goods, consumer goods, and intermediary goods. So this is how we have the concept of goods. And utility, it is important question for 5 marks over here, right? So for 5 marks, we have to write introduction as well as the 4 types of utility. In this, you give the example also. So make it to a 1-page answer. These all should come in 1 page. You can score full marks for this. So this is a simple answer over here. Now, coming to the next concept, next small important concept we have in economics, that is wealth. Generally, wealth means what? Wealth means what here? Here we can say in economic terms, wealth means stock of assets held by an individual, or an institution. Held by an individual or an institution. Stock of assets. Assets means what? We may have building, we may have money, we may have gold. When we have the stock of all these things, then we call it as a wealth. Like we can say that so and so person is a wealthy person. Means not only money, they may have shares, right? So example, you can say gold or money. If they have all the stock together, right? Then buildings they are having, and also they may have shares in the companies. So this concept is called as wealth, right? This wealth concept is different from wealth definition. Remember that one. Wealth definition is different concept. Wealth concept means it is stock of assets held by an individual, and wealth can be transferable. Wealth can be transferable. Wealth can be transferable. Wealth is having scarcity. Wealth is having utility, right? So these are the features of wealth. Wealth can be transferred easily from one person to another person, like from forefathers to the next generation, we can transfer them. Wealth is scarce in nature. No one is having excess wealth with them, as well as wealth is also having the utility, usefulness to the consumers. So these are the features of wealth. So this is again another 2 marks question. Clear? So today totally we have discussed how many? Here 1, 2, free goods, economic goods, then capital goods, consumer goods, intermediary goods, and wealth. These all comes under 2 marks, right? Next we have 5 marks question. 5 marks question, that is difference between free goods and economic goods and utility. So this is the 5 marks question. So these are the important questions from first chapter. We have 4 questions like microeconomics, macroeconomics, characteristics of human wants and all. We will discuss that in the next, right? So just follow whatever the questions we are giving. If you are thorough in these questions, easily you can score your marks, right? So okay, thank you.